The song that we just heard was Praha Polka by the band Czech and Dancehall led by Denis Zapletal, whom I'll be speaking with today in this episode. You might be wondering why I'm speaking English. The answer is simple. Denis Zapletal is an American with Czech roots living in the town of Ennis in Texas. At the end of May 2024, we were in Texas with Pardubická muzika, and the main initiator behind making such a thing happen was Denis Zapletal himself, leading to a beautiful Czech-Texas collaboration. I thank him very much for everything, and now we will move straight to the podcast we recorded on the last day of our stay in the hotel room. Enjoy today's episode.
A pivo dosti a jídlo bylo dosti a pivo dosti. Když jsme opustili pivovar, sklenka byla prázdná.
Hello everyone, I welcome you to my podcast. This is my first episode in English, so I apologize for my not that good English, but I'm very happy that my invitation accepts Denis Zapletal. Hello, Denis Zapletal.
Hello, Hansa, and you speak good English. It's getting better each time. How are you doing?
I'm fine.
Good.
And Denny, can you tell us something about you?
Sure. Well, first of all, we're in Houston, Texas. It's Thursday, May the 30th, 2024. Pardubická muzika just finished up their Texas tour, and before we go back to the airport, we're doing a podcast. I'm from Texas, from Ennis, Texas. I'm 59 years old. I'm American Czech. My ancestors came from the Zlín area in Moravia. Have a polka band. We play Czech music. We play all kinds of music, but focus on Czech music. I'm involved with a lot of Czech organization type things to promote our Czech heritage in the United States.
Can you say more about that topic? Why there are so many people in Texas related to Czech people?
In the 1800s, late 1800s and early 1900s, I guess times were hard in the Czech Republic, so a lot of them defected and came to the United States. They had two choices to come through. You could either come through Ellis Island in New York, or you can come through Galveston, Texas. So the ones that came through Galveston, Texas, they settled in Texas. Either they stayed in Texas, some even went to Mexico, my understanding. I don't know what kind of number that would be. And then some even migrated up to Oklahoma, Kansas, Nebraska, in that area. Even the ones that came from Ellis Island, they ended up in the Midwest of the United States, which would be like Nebraska, Iowa, Illinois, Wisconsin, Minnesota, and places like that. Texas population has the most Czech population in the United States.
And can you say how many people is that?
I don't know. I know it's over 1 million Czechs. It's got to be well over 1 million, because now that people come over, they've been over here and they marry, and you have different nationalities that intertwine with Czech. It could be several million. I don't know that number, and you can't get a true number because if you have a different last name, they don't know to count that as Czech heritage unless you actually fill out a form and check your background. But the Czechs settled in Texas, Hansa, because it was kind of similar to what it was. The farmland was similar to what they had back home back in those days, it wasn't even Czechoslovakia yet. I guess it was Moravia. You know, in Texas, they celebrate their Czech heritage really well. Central Texas, North Texas, even in the Houston area. You know, the museum last night's a real beautiful museum they have. It's a center and a museum. On the third floor, I don't know if you got to go up there, but they had a museum on the third floor of the museum last night. So it's nice. And then, of course, you saw Texas Czech Heritage Cultural Center in LaGrange, where y'all played on Monday night. They have a lot of artifacts and things like that. So we embrace our Czech heritage in Texas.
Yeah, okay. Can we move to your beginnings? I mean, you are band leader of brass band
Well, we don't consider ourselves a brass band. We're a dance band. Difference between music in the Czech Republic and music in the United States. Czech Republic, you have Dehovka brass band. In the United States, it's more of a dance band. So we might play the same songs, but we incorporate it. It's still a polka beat, but it's more of a dancing beat. Maybe slow down some of the tempos, maybe speed up some of the tempos. It depends on the particular song. We incorporate the saxophone. The sax players will double up on their instrument like a clarinet. The clarinet players will switch back and forth from sax to clarinet. We don't use tenor horns. We do use trumpets. And in Texas, we use a lot of bass guitar instead of tuba. And we use an accordion. In the accordion, when it's playing rhythm, we'll play peckhorn parts. I guess y'all call it trubka. Yeah. Play the trubka parts. So, we started 1997. I was playing with another band, Harry Zernick and the Texas Dutchman from Houston, Texas. Played with them for over 30 years. I was traveling for my job at work, and so I had two little kids, Josh and Madeline, and it was tough on Yvonne, so I had to make a decision to stay home, and I still wanted to play. My brother-in-law, David Slovak, and I started Czech and then some, and it was actually started by accident. A friend asked David to get a band together for his sister's 50th wedding anniversary. We played a gig, and everybody liked it, so they hired us to do more gigs, so we formed the band, and we came up with the name Czech and then some. We wanted everyone to know that we played Czech music, but we also played other types of music, like country, every once in a while a big band song, or even a pop song, So that's how we got started. We actually started as a 6-piece band. Just 2 trumpets, bass guitar, drums, accordion, and a rhythm guitar. So then we added the clarinets because I already had the arrangements built for 2 trumpets, 2 saxes / clarinet, accordion, tuba, and drums. So I just turned around and started incorporating the arrangements to fit what we actually have today. And we've been playing, this is our 27th year. We've had a lot of fun. I mean, we play a lot of festivals, whether it be Czech, German.
And is it hard to stay, to work?
It's harder. Getting dance jobs today is a lot harder because the people that truly like the Czech music and stuff, a lot of those people have passed away, and they didn't pass it on to the next generation. I'm sure you have the same thing in the Czech Republic.
Yeah, I think
that's just a human nature type thing. I guess the Dehovka is making a comeback in Czech Republic, right?
I would not consider it as a comeback, but our Pardubická muzika, we are trying to implement Dehovka to our generation.
It's important. Even over there, it got lost throughout the communism, and which is a shame. But over here, it's just the people that truly liked it. They've passed away, and like I said, they didn't pass it down to the next generation. So we incorporate different type of styles of music that we play to go along with the Czech music, so that we might bring people. If they hear the music, they like it. You just have to get people to listen to it and take the time to notice it. And once they do, now it's not for everybody. Not every type of music genre is for everybody. But for the most part, when we play festivals and people that had never heard polka music, and they just have a blast. And they're drinking beer, pivo, dancing, it's happy music. Just like, Dehovka's happy music. When I hear the students play, y'all are doing so well, and I get excited, man. It's fun music for me. We like to play the festivals. We play a lot of Oktoberfest. We kind of change up our style because we have to play a little more German music, but we still play the Czech songs. Now, sometimes we won't necessarily sing the Czech lyrics when we play. Like, it depends how strict German it is. They play our music, right? The Germans. A lot of songs they're playing, especially their Dehovka, it's Czech music. So I mean, we just trade off, but it's fun.
Can you say more about Das Polka Festival?
Yeah, so Ennis Polka Festival, the National Polka Festival. We just celebrated last weekend, which this is why Portobelska Muzika was here. Our 57th annual, which would really be our 58th, but COVID, we didn't have it during 2020 for COVID reasons. It's special to me because my dad was one of the original founders. So my dad and two friends, they were up in Nebraska listening to some, they went to a festival up there listening to some of the Czech polka bands. And my dad thought, well, we can do this in Ennis because we have a large Czech community and we have a lot of polka bands in Texas. So he got with his friend and they got with his mayor, which happened to be his buddy's brother-in-law. So they got together and they formed the Ennis Polka Festival / National Polka Festival. And that was they planned the first one in 1966. And the first one started in 1967. It lasted one day. It was a success. A lot of people came. It was on a Sunday. So the next year, they moved it to a 2-day festival, and it was very successful. So they became a weekend festival. And by like the fourth year, Ennis was maybe 10,000 people. They were drawing like 30,000 people to come to Ennis for the festival. They were doing really well. And they incorporated a parade downtown, had a street dance, sold some klobasa sandwiches and barbecue, and it just kolaches. All the ladies would make strudels and kolaches to sell at the halls. In Ennis, we have one time had four dance halls that ran or related to Czech culture. The KJT, which stands for Catholic Union of Texas, and the KJT comes from the Czech spelling of Catholic Union of Texas, not the English spelling. Then you have the SPJST, that's initials for what it stands for, and I can't say it in Czech, it's real long. Then we had the Sokol, which you know about the Sokol because you have Sokol halls in Czech Republic. And then the Knights of Columbus Hall in Ennis was ran by the Czechs. It's a Catholic organization. So KJT is a Catholic Czech organization. The SPJST is just a Czech organization. And of course, the Sokol is a Czech organization. And the Knights of Columbus is a Catholic organization. Two of them are like fraternal organizations. The KJT and SPJST, they're Texas only. And they started in the late 1800s. When the Czechs came over, they needed a place to gather, but first they needed help with insurance. So SPJST and KJT are insurance affiliated organizations. So back in the early days, you had to be Czech and Catholic to be part of the KJT, and you had to be Czech to be part of the SPJST, and you could only be men. It was only men back in the day. So the women had their own organizations, like they had the KJZT, which was the sister company to the KJT. So that one was for men, one for women. Today, you can be a member of either. And SPJST, I'm not 100% sure if it was ever strictly men or they allowed women. But these organizations helped the Czechs when they came over, and they want to celebrate their heritage. They needed a gathering place, so they built these halls. And back in the day, they did have brass bands. It was just like it was over there. It didn't evolve into the American type music yet. The Polka Festival, we had 4 halls back in the early days, and they would hire 15, 20 bands, and they would play all Saturday and all Sunday. Everybody just celebrated their Czech heritage, having a good time, drinking beer, eating food, sauerkraut, klobasa. We make what we call a Czech-style barbecue. Some of our ancestors that came from Czech Republic, it's a Texas Czech thing, how they did it. Most barbecue places you go in Texas, it's dry. You put the piece of meat on a grill and you cook it. That's not how we do ours. We actually get some seasoning and spices, and we put it in a big old container, and you put the meat in there and you let it marinate for like a week. Then we put it in a big stainless steel pan. We cook it in the juices, so we call it wet cooking, and it gives it a real good flavor with all those spices that we marinate it with, and it makes it real tender cooking it as wet. So that's how we call that Texas Czech, because it was started by our ancestors that came over from Czechoslovakia. So nobody else cooks it like that. So that's a Texas Czech thing. So we can say we have that they don't even have in the Czech Republic. As the years, the festival got bigger and got bigger. I moved back to Ennis. I lived in Austin my wife and I, Yvonne, lived in Austin for almost 5 years. For my work, I had to live down there. So when we moved back to Ennis in 1991, I joined the National Polka Festival Committee. Since my dad was one of the founders, I thought, well, this is kind of neat. I'll do something my dad did. I never thought I'd be involved with the festival for 33 years. So this was my 33rd year this year. I was the executive director. I was the vice president in 92, and I was the president in 93. Then we changed the format of how we ran the festival. And we have an executive branch, type structure. We have an executive director, we have a president, we have a treasurer, and we have a secretary. For like 18 years, I was the executive director. And after we celebrated our 50th anniversary of the National Polka Festival, I retired. I stepped aside, and I'm just like an advisor consultant. And I do a lot of the work behind the scenes. I'm no longer the boss. Don't want to be the boss. I focus more on the Czech culture of the festival and the music. Let the new director, John Paul Beebe, he focuses on all the other business aspects of the festival. It's worked out pretty good. Sometimes it's a tough job. When you organize a group coming from the Czech Republic, it's a lot of work. It's almost a year planning, maybe 8-9 months planning to get the trip prepared and get everything worked out where it works on the end for you guys, Pardubice, Musika. But it's worth it. We have new friends in the Czech Republic. It's always special when we have true Czech culture from the mother country, Czech Republic, come and join our celebration. You've been there twice now, 2022, 2024. What do you think of it? Do you like the National Polka Festival? Do you have anything like that in Czech Republic?
No, we actually really like it, and we love how people react to our music. That's great experience, and we also love how people in Texas appreciate Czech culture, and that's so nice to see.
They like the music because we don't get to hear it very often. I listen to it every day. But the average person in Texas, they don't listen to Chet Dehovka. Some don't even know what it is, and they're just amazed when the band starts playing. They see how young you all are. All y'all are incredible musicians, and that's a compliment to Alois and Mikhail and all the teachers at Pardubice Music Conservatory. And also to the students that y'all take the effort, y'all take it seriously, you take pride in your playing your instrument, and it shows. I mean, you guys are really good. So it's fun that y'all get to come and join our Texas Czech culture.
And can you say how this collaboration started?
Yeah. So I met Eva and Vasek Sepchik. They were in Texas, and they were playing at the Sokol Hall in Dallas. One of my buddies up in Dallas, he's the president of the Sokol up in Dallas. He has come out and listened to them. So I drove up to Dallas to hear Eva and Vasek, and Eva sings beautiful voice, real beautiful voice. Vasek was playing accordion. He sings well as well, and so we became friends. And I told him, "Hey, Czech and Ensign wants to go play in the Czech Republic. Can you help us get there?" And I said, you have us come to the Czech Republic, we'll have you come to Texas. So when Eva and Vasek were coming to Texas to play for the National Polka Festival, Vasek reached out to Pardubice Music Conservatory, and he got, I think, 6 young students to come travel with him and play. So that's when Governor Nedolitsky and Dominic, we met them in 2018 because I guess Governor Nedolitsky, he supported the students coming over here. So that's how we met, and we met Governor Nedolitsky and Dominic in Ennis in 2018, and they were I think they were truly amazed at the festival, how big it is and how much we celebrate our Czech culture. So move forward a couple of years. Well, my wife Yvonne and Dominic, they stayed in touch on Facebook. Hans, I have no social media, so no Facebook, no Twitter, no TikTok, no Instagram, no nothing. So the only way you can get a hold of me is actually call me or text me, you know. So Yvonne would keep in touch with Dominic, and she would tell me what's going on in the Czech Republic, and Dominic would follow what's going on in Ennis. And so I called Dominic one day, and I guess it was 2021. I said, you think it's possible that Governor Nedolitsky want to come back to Ennis and participate in the Polka Festival? We would like him to be our Grand Marshal of the festival. He goes, Danny, let me talk to Governor Nedolitsky, and he was interested, but he also wanted to bring the students back over. Well, this time, the first time, it was not a Dehovka. They just played, music, Czech music. But this time, Pardubice Music Conservatory started a Dehovka for the students. And
it was interesting because a few weeks, I think it was 1 week before we get that information that we can go to America, or anyone have that point that we can do it. We started Pardubická muzika. We started we were on our practicing room with Tomáš and Michal Stehno and Tomáš Binko and me, and we were talking that we like Dechovka music, and why not to start a Czech brass band here? That would be great. And we started, and week later we heard this information that people from Pardubický kraj and people from Texas want us to come here in Texas.
So how did you Tomáš and Michael Steno, did you approach Michal Kmelaj or Alois? How did y'all?
Yeah, it was, I picked my phone and I called Michal Kmelaj and asked him if he wants to help us with starting that brass band. And he said if we find people on conservatory to play, then he can help us. But finding people is maybe the hardest part of it, but we somehow managed it, and now we work for 2 years.
Yeah, and in the 2 years, Hansa, the band was very good in 2002, but now the band is so much better. All the students, your musicianship has grown a lot. So playing together for 2 years, you can tell the difference. Everything is real neat, real tight, and in sync. Everything gels together. Fits like a good glove on your hand. And the band is just so great now. It was good back then. Now it's becoming great. And if y'all continue to play, it's just going to get better and better and better. And so that's how, these last 2 trips have gotten planned. I reached back out to Dominic and Governor Nedlitsky. He said yes, but I want to bring students. So we got that worked out. Y'all formed Pardubitska Muzika, and everybody liked what y'all did in 2022. So in 2023, Governor Nedlitsky invited Czech and Insum to go tour Czech Republic. So we came over, as you know, in September, and Pardubitska Muzika and Czech and Insum, we played 4 concerts together, which was a lot of fun. And just to go, this was our second trip, Czech and Insum. This is our second trip to Czech Republic. We went back in 2018. We toured Czech Republic, Slovakia, and Austria. And on that first trip, we played like 10 or 11 jobs. This one we only played 4. We wanted more sightseeing time, enjoy. So, but the first one was cool because we went to a lot of villages where they celebrated their village for that week, and there was a lot of festivals, and so we saw some really neat stuff. We saw a lot of neat stuff in 2023. So when we were there, we already got the plans for 2024 that Pardubitska Muzika would come back to Ennis for the 57th annual National Polka Festival. So after talking with Martin, Governor Nedlitsky, at dinner the other night, he invited Czech and Insum to come in 2025 to Czech Republic. Now, I don't know if we will get to yet. I'll work on that here starting in the next few weeks. But we also are starting to prepare for maybe another visit from Pardubitska Muzika in 2026. So, but all the details will have to be worked out. There's still a lot of work to do on that. So, but it's a lot of fun. We love having all the students here and spending the week. Like I said last night on the microphone, all the students are like my other kids. So now instead of having 2 kids, I have like 17 kids.
And I also want to ask, how is it possible to do all those things when you have full-time day job? Yeah,
I have a full-time day job. I enjoy it, Hansa. Sometimes it's stressful. Sometimes it's a lot. But I just make time to get it done, and it's the results are what makes it worthwhile. It helps the festival. We get to see, like I said, more true Czech culture from Czech Republic, be part of the National Polka Festival, and that's what we strive for as a committee at the National Polka Festival, to have a true Czech heritage festival that people can see the real representation of what Czech is. That part of Czech. I mean, I know there's other parts that y'all have in the country that we don't see every day, but music and beer and food, people own food. That's a big part of the Czech culture. I mean, even over in Czech Republic, right?
Yeah.
I mean, who doesn't like good people? Huh? Even the young folks. So it's time consuming, but like I said, it's worth it. We meet new people, make new friends. That's what life is about: making new friends.
And how you relax?
Maybe next week. Maybe next week. This weekend I'll take it easy. Yvonne and I will just sit back and not do a lot at the house, and just kind of wind down, and then go back to work Monday and start it all over again. So.
And what's your daytime job?
I work for a steel company. It's called Leggett and Platt. We're the largest bedding, like in mattresses, bedding components supplier in the world. So we make the springs that go inside of a mattress, the coils, So, and then my customers, they actually assemble the mattresses. my customers would be like Sealy, Tempur-Pedic, Serta, Simmons. It's like that. Do y'all have those brands, mattress brands in the Czech Republic?
I think some of them, but I'm not so much into mattresses.
Well, I understand. You're still young. You don't have to worry about that yet. But when you start your family, just the mattress is one of the most important things you'll own, besides your trumpet, obviously. But without a good mattress, you don't sleep well. If you're not rested well, your next day is not as good. You're not as productive. So mattresses are important. So, but yeah, I work for a steel company, and I'm in sales. So I travel. I travel Texas, Louisiana, Oklahoma. So.
And I think the answer would be obvious, but I need to ask, what type of music do you usually listen to?
Oh, I listen to Dejovka almost every day. I like to listen to sports radio as well, but mainly Czech music.
And can you say what music?
You mean like names of songs?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, some of my favorites are Vysoky Yalovec. I like Zahodny Waltz, Hezky Podlahy, Až budou trumpety, Žala naša Anička. All those. My favorite brass band has always been Moravanka. I saw Moravanka when I was a teenager. I saw them in 1978 and 1980 when I was 13 and 15 years old. And to see somebody play trumpet like that, it was just mesmerizing, because we didn't hear that over here. It was like, wow. And it hit you like a ton of bricks. I mean, those guys were awesome.
And that was also the time when you started playing trumpet?
Yeah, I started here we start in like the 6th grade. I know in Czech Republic you start earlier in life, but here we start in 6th grade, which would be about 11 or 12, depends how old you are when you start school. So I took accordion lessons when I was 8 years old. So I started music when I was 8 and playing the accordion. I don't play the accordion anymore. I wasn't any good at it. Trumpet is a lot better. So I started in 6th grade, so I was probably 12 when I started. So.
And it was because of your parents? Or?
Yeah, my dad, both my mom and dad played in a band. My dad played trumpet as well, and my mom played piano. And my mom played with a band for 25 years called the Jody Mikla Orchestra. My dad had a band in the 60s called the Music Masters in Ennis. And then he played with Harry Zarnick and the Texas Dutchman. And then when I got old enough, I played with Harry Zarnick and the Texas Dutchman. And my dad and I got to play trumpets together. So that was really neat. Now I get to play trumpet with my son, Josh. Josh, he started with Czech and Ensemble when he was 14. And now he's 28. So I guess maybe it was 15. He was somewhere around there, but he's been playing with the band for 10, 12, 13 years now. And he plays trumpet, and he plays the guitar as well.
Do we have any topic that you would like to mention?
No, it's playing polka music. It's just, that's something we enjoy. We don't do it for a living. We all have jobs everyday jobs, and we do this on the weekends or whenever we get a job, a gig, and it's relaxing, and it's something we enjoy. And we know it's part of our heritage and culture. And, David Slovak, my sister Michelle, his sister Jennifer, she plays saxophone clarinet. Her husband plays the drums. Like I said, my son plays the trumpet. We all, and our bass player, John Schumacher, he went to high school with me. But everybody likes polka music. It's not everybody's favorite music like it is mine. It is David Slovak. That's his favorite music too. but and my sister Michelle. But they all like it, and we all enjoy playing it. So it makes it special. And we've had the same band together for the last, I guess, 12 years. So that's important. So I guess Josh has been playing for 12 years because he's the last member that joined the band full time. And it's like we talked about Part of Beats Got Musical, when you play together for a certain amount of time, you get better, you gel, and everybody kind of knows how everyone's thinking and where they're going to react, and so that helps.
Okay. So thank you, Danny, that you accept my invitation.
Well, thank you for having me, Hansa. I hope people enjoy it. I don't know if they'll understand it. You might have to do another one where you have to translate everything to Czech.
Yeah, I will try to make other one.
Well, thank you for having me.
Thank you so much.
Okay, man. Thank you. And y'all going to have a safe trip back to Czech Republic.
Thank you.
Okay.